Hi, hello everyone. This is Sara from the Covenant of Hekate, Sanctuary of Hekate Potnia Theron, and today I'm here to interview Diana, another Torchbearer of the Covenant of Hekate, Hecate's Drakaina, right? The Sanctuary of
Yes.
Hekate Drakaina, and she's talking about her practice, and especially the practice with the Restless Dead, which is something very important, and a lot of people actually ask me. So instead of having the usual interview written down, I think it's nicer to let Diana talk directly to us. So, hello, Diana. What can you tell us about yourself, your background, your sanctuary?
I'm Diana. I'm 56 right now, and I've been in Wicca covens for about 20 years. I just um, stepped out. I'm completely solitarian now. I'm still bonded to the Covenant of Hecate, of course. And during my time in Wicca, I discovered I'm always even before in Wicca, in my normal life, I'm always involved in death. When my horse needs to be put down, I was there, and we connected at the moment she died. Um, when my father died, I have to tell him to go because he didn't want to let go, and um, he had some bacteria he couldn't survive, but he just hang on to life. So I have to tell him, you have to go now, and really talk him into death. And it was bittersweet because it was something I can do for him, but it was bitter because it was something I have to do for him. And after that and before, I always noticed when somebody died, I noticed. And that was a hard one because um, when you're at work and you feel someone is dying, it's not a very pretty feeling, and you have to concentrate to your work. So I went to a natural healer, and she told me I can do that in a box, close it, not for forever, but let it transform. And I've got the box completely. So I went into Wicca, and eventually it turned out I still got drawn to death and dying, not in a macabre way, but just the moment that somebody dies, what happens to the spirit? What happens to the energy? What does it? And how do some how is it like in suicide, and how is it like if the one is dying isn't a really good person, like a rapist or a murderer or whatever. And it's in those covens, my high priestesses, they start giving me information about the Kailach, the Banshee. And yeah, it wasn't the Kailach. I really adore the Kailach, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't the one I was looking for. And then I came eventually at Hekate, and that was like boom, 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 boom. Everything fell together. Um, but it scared me because who am I? What can I do? I have a Wicca background, and that's it. So I started to read. I have several books. I am very interested in dragons because they are the masters of the elements. And that connection, master of elements, the dead are master of the elements because, in my vision, because they are liminal. The ones that can't, that have a sudden death of a violent death are liminal. They can't go through. And I noticed that I can feel them if I'm open to it. I can close it. I can put them outside my house in a window before behind the window so that they don't bother me if I'm not ready for it. And every dark moon, normally, I do the ritual for the Restless Dead, and then they can, then they see me as a beacon. I just am lighting myself, not firing, set myself on fire, but I am a beacon at that moment in a triangular, and Hekate is behind me. And she is the judge, she is the jury. I just send them through. I don't ask names. I don't want names, because if you have a name, the energy can stick. I don't want them in my house. I just want them to pass. So it's not really spectacular where I call out names or whatever. It's really just feeling energies. And sometimes I don't feel anything because they pass me and they don't reach out to me. Sometimes they do. Sometimes I hear like, but I'm a murderer. What would I do? Just go. I'm not your judge. I'm not your jury. Look behind me. Or, well, I don't know how I need to go. I don't even know I'm dead. Well, you are, because I can feel you. You can go behind me. There's Hekate, and she will embrace you and guide you further. It's not always like that. That are the most spectacular, of course, because that's very special. And I even if it was a murderer, I think, yeah, well, you're a person, and I don't need to judge you. You are your own worst judge. You did something that is unforgivable, but hey, go to Hekate and listen to her. Look what she has to say. And but then it was a matter of, how do I give that ritual a form? Because in my Wicca experience, you call all the elements, you draw a circle. So I did. I make so many safety. I made it so safe that nothing could come through.
I see.
The circle, the watchers, all the elements. Then I was like, this is not
You
going.
actually built a huge walls all around you.
Yeah. Not everybody was. They couldn't
trying
come in.
to
Hello, no, they just couldn't come
Let
in.
me just ask you a little question.
Yeah.
So you always felt also these spirits trying to go through since you were younger. Then it was not just feeling the people who were going to die, but also this kind of presence around. It was like that for you.
Yes.
And exactly what my second question was actually what you were telling us, how you put together a ritual that allowed you to deal with the spirit. Just, okay, question later. Just talk with that.
It's okay.
I'm very messy.
I don't mind.
As an interviewer.
I can switch, it's no problem. The point was, if I made it too safe for me, then they couldn't come through. So I must find a form that wasn't too safe, and I need to start believing in myself, in my own powers, but also in the protective powers of Hekate. So I started reading, and from the Goddess Hekate from Ronan, there I have some. Just a sec. I don't have the real book. I printed a PDF.
Very few people
PDF,
have
so it's legal. It's legal. I bought the PDF, and there I have some. There are some good, not instructions, but guidelines. But the most I got, the most kickstart that I got was from a conversation with Sarita about Restless Dead, and I asked her that. Oh, that was in the beginning of our Torchbearer bootcamp. We usually stick a bit later than the rest, and eventually asked her, like, well, I want to do something, but I don't know how to form it. And then she advised me to read the book The Restless Dead by Sara L. Johnson, to know who they are, to know what they are. And from that book, I could sort of make a split from the pure Restless Dead, like stillborn babies and children and people that are in car accidents, etc., that are death without guilt. And you have the more unpure Restless Dead, like the suicides and the rapists and the murderers. And somehow, my first sexual experience was rape, but somehow I felt the need to get over myself and help them, because everybody wants to help those little stillborn babies, and everybody wants to help the pure people, but they are there too. And who says if they have learned from this life, from their mistakes, from their very, very bad mistakes, maybe they are a good person in the next life. So who am I to, yeah, well, so I got over myself and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I started reading further, and then I read in Hekate and Magic by Morlan. He was talking about the triangle, and in what I have learned, usually you do a triangle outside of your circle. I skipped the circle. I am just working with the triangle, and then you have the next step. What do I do to protect myself? I use the Hounds of Hekate, the 3 pillars, and they are connected to the 3 pillars of the Kabbalah. The Hound of Wisdom, the Hound of Justice, and the Hound of, I always forget one. He will kick my ass next time, but I'm sorry.
No problem.
And those 3 are my protectors.
I see.
Only them. I ask them to join me, and I never ask them to leave. They may leave in their own peace and in their own time, but they can stay if they want. I don't tell them to go. I don't order them, because they won't let me order them, and I think that's fine. They protect me, so why should I order them to go? And since I do that, I noticed that entities can find me, and I have some sort of sign. I only do it when I'm home alone, because I don't want to not that my husband interrupts me or that my son would interrupt me. But it still are not the nicest entities, not the nicest energies. So I do it when I'm home alone. I kick everybody out. And at the end, when I think, okay, are there more? Is this it? Then I hear a door slam. I'm the only one home, and I hear my downstairs door slam close. And then I know, okay, now I can close the ritual, etc. But what I do is, I do that, if I can, I do it in liminal time, when the sun goes down, but before the moon comes up. But I do prepare myself. I take a shower, and while I'm showering, I contact with the water. It's the water of my ancestors. They have drunk in it, they have swum in it, and so am I. I drink the water from the shower and I clean myself completely. Then I keep silent and I put on a black robe, and that's it. And then I draw my triangular, and it's all in Morland's book. It is explained how and where and what you should do, and it works. It's a fine way of working, because you are protected, but you are not that protected that nobody can enter your space.
Yeah, that is very interesting, because evoking spirit inside the triangle, it's something common to several cultures. So I think that is already a sort of evocation that is kind of protected, or quite let's say closed. So the spirit
Yes.
is not fully free to roam around your place, or
Yes.
other people. But it's very interesting how you trust and believe in Hekate and her hounds protecting you. So basically, you are accepting the protection of Hekate without adding your own protection. And that I think it's very beautiful, but also very important, because basically otherwise, as you said, it's impossible for a spirit to really get in contact with you and go through you.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful ritual, I think.
Thank
And
you.
I think it's also something you need to be prepared of.
Yes,
You
you
need
have
to
to be very strong in yourself, because you are sitting there and you are opening your mind, and you are, yeah, light, put on the light, so like moths they can come, but you must also be aware that you do, at least I don't make contact, only if they want to contact me, because you don't, yeah, well, you experience entities like for example a small breath, or a little something, a candle flickering, etc., etc. I don't really pay attention to that, because I'm not the one they are supposed to see. I am just
It's like a door.
I'm like a door. I open the door and I say, you can come in, but not in my house. You can come past me, and there is Hekate. Have fun. And at the end, I said, well, this is it. I see you all next dark moon, and I close the door again. And sometimes in between, I feel that they want to connect me, but I don't go in there. I'm boss.
I see.
Yes, because that's my Wicca background. If you are going to let them be boss, what am I supposed to do? Do the ritual every day, a couple of times a day? I have a life, I have a family. So it is a set date every month, every dark moon around-ish. Sometimes it's the day before, but I usually do exactly on the dark moon, because on the new moon, on the dark moon, because then are the veils the most thin, and is contact really easy.
I see. May I ask you if this your ability to closing this door, so do not allowing this spirit to come to you in between your rituals, is something that you learn to do? Is something that was natural, or is something that I don't know how you
I'm very good
manage this?
with boundaries.
Oh, that's great. I've always supported that dealing
Yes.
with the spirit is actually very similar to dealing with people. They just
Yes.
don't have the physical part, but
Yeah.
there are some
My
similarities.
no, yeah, my no is a no.
Oh,
Is a definite no in this case. There is no negotiation. If I do other rituals, I do negotiate with the entity, but I do not never negotiate with the Restless Dead, because they are Restless Dead, and because they are still attached of their character in this life. They sometimes have made some, but like the for example, the two that really took contact, one was already further, like okay, I'm not, I don't know how, and I don't know what, so I could contact with that, with them, with that entity, but I don't, because why? I don't want them in my house. I don't want them in my mind. I I I am really, really firm in my boundaries. This is my house where my husband lives, and where I have people coming, and I don't want uh, poltergeist like situations, like I want attention and I want it now. No,
I see.
in that case I said no. Next dark moon, they don't have an idea of time, so I don't say time. I don't say in 2 or 3 days or whatever. No, I say the next dark moon. They can see the moon. Bye.
I see.
Yeah, have
And
fun.
do you do something to protect your house, or is just your presence, like your,
My house is very good protected. We have a gate around the front porch, which have a pentagram in it, handmade. On all my walls, because when we bought this house, it needed to be remodeled. This is the third house we've been remodeling, and The fourth house was that of my son, and I quit with it. But in this house, every wall downstairs has pentagrams on it.
Oh,
It's all upside down and with the horns up and with the horns down on every wall.
I see. So it is
Yes,
very well
it is
protected.
very well protected. Yes, that's why when I put on the circle and, it was a little bit much. It
I
was,
see. Now I really
like
understand
Fort
that.
Knox. And I don't need Fort Knox.
Yeah, I can picture in my mind this blue spirit trying to enter somehow in the crackling in the protection wall. And well, definitely your practice is really, really interesting because I think that not many people, but definitely plenty of people, especially Hekate's devotees, sooner or later, you have something to do or some sort of contact with spirits. And sometimes also restless spirits. So I think it's important for everyone to learn a bit, at least a little bit, how to deal with them. So I think that it's very important for us to listen to your experience. So if someone is, at the beginning of this practice, because maybe they stumble into spirit, or basically it's the opposite way around, and the spirit are reaching to them, what would you suggest them to do? To read the books?
Yes, read the books, especially Restless Dead. Wait, I have them here. These are the books that for me were very inspiring and where I have learned a lot from. That is Lifting the Veil. It has breathing techniques. It has especially, it's a long time ago. I need to find it. It has a lot of trance exercises and also to get out of the trance, because if you are alone like me, you have to come out of it. And it is kind of addictive because it is interesting, like you said. You can feel energies pass by or not. And so you have to be very alert from, am I still protected? Is everything going okay? I am not looking behind me because there is Hekate and I don't know how or what, whether she is in, I do know she have torches because I do see the light shine behind me and it's not my candles, but I don't need to see where they go. That's none of my business. This book, what Sarita recommended, is a real good book. Because if you read this and you say, well, I think that's a bit too much for me, it's okay. But from that book, you can know what the Restless Dead are and how they appear. Because in this book, it's about history. It's about the murderers, etc., that get hang on the crossroads. And nothing really have changed because there still are murderers and there still are people that get executed. So it's the same in a different way. I don't know if that sentence makes sense, but it's you can learn a lot from that book.
Yeah, but I think that it makes a lot of sense. Because as you said before, plenty of people sometimes thinks about the restless dead, but the pure soul, like again, the babies or, the people who were actually killed, for example, the people who died for a violent death, for example. It's very difficult, at least with the people I know and I talk about all this stuff, to find someone who is thinking that in the restless dead you have your soul, the guilty, death.
Yeah.
It's not just about the innocent and you are helping the poor soul going through. You may have someone who was not a
Yeah,
pure
you could
soul.
have had the energy of a serial killer. So it is very important that you do not judge, but that you also keep a clear mind for yourself. I'm not going to sit like, which one of you murderers want to come through? No, I just say I'm open. If there are any restless dead, they can come through. That's it. I do have some invocations, etc., etc. But it's not like I know that it is the unpure restless dead, but I don't judge them. I judge them is not the right word. I sit without prejudice. That's the word what I was looking for. I just sit there, and I do started to practice that with the pure restless dead, with the animals, with the little stillborn babies, because in the beginning your mind is making forms. If you feel a presence, you want to give a form to it. You want to make it a little baby. Don't do that. Never do that, because if you do that, you get attached, you get connected.
I see.
Don't make it a form. It's something that passes by, and that's it. It's something. It isn't a form. Nobody knows the form of a soul. We only know the form of people and of buildings and of etc., etc. And we don't need that. Not in this. Normally, you can visualize a lot in trance and in meditations, but not in my ritual. It comes as it comes, and it goes as it goes. I don't give it form. That was something when I was in my on my quest to find how to do things. That was for me a very, very good advice, because I'm a mother. And I am definitely going to cry when I see a little stillborn baby. How do I do my work?
Yeah, I see. But that
So,
must be very difficult to do. Being able to
yes,
refrain from visualizing or
yes,
giving shapes and form, that may be extremely difficult.
it
I mean, since
was.
we are usually doing the opposite,
Yeah,
it's very difficult to keep your mind still and just let the energy, basically, or I don't know how the soul go through you. It's very difficult job to do.
yes.
And do you feel that, I'm sure you did, but do you feel that Hecate presence helped you in putting down this ritual, in creating your
Yes.
practice?
Yes. It's not something I did in a couple of months. I did it in a couple of years, because I was in a coven. So coven first. I felt the tugging, the pulling of the restless dead, but I didn't know what to do. So I went to my pre-last high priestess, and I said, well, what should I do? And she asked, are it demons? No, it are not demons. Yeah, well, I don't know what to do then. So I was basically on my own. So I just started reading, not just those books, but I also have not an original exemplar, but I do have the Rotting Goddess. And at the moment that I was searching this book, Hecatean Magic, wasn't available, I wrote over the whole damn book. And I just read it with in the back of my mind, what can I use? What is usable for me? What is going to help me put my things together? And then I started working in steps, like I was with the circle and with the whole shebang. Okay, this doesn't work. I don't feel anything. I don't even feel Hekate behind me. Okay, so this doesn't work. Okay, and then the next month, sometimes I was, how do you say, not depressed, but demotivated. So I didn't do it. And then the month coming next, I started feeling the presences again. Okay, well, I need to go get my shit together. I need to do my work. So I started reading again, and then I left the elements out, and then I left my circle out, and then I started with the triangle. And that was kind of scary in the beginning because you usually work in a circle and the triangle outside of the circle. Now I am in the circle. So how is that going to be? It works. For me, it works. Maybe for somebody else, the circle works. I don't know. But for me, it was because I have so much protection. I could every time that I do the work, I peel off a layer until I found out, okay, this has still has a layer, a very trusted layer, the Hounds of Hekate, all three of them, and Hekate, but that's enough. And with those books and with just experimenting, eventually the ritual as it is now has taken shape. And I don't say it is a set shape. If I start feeling maybe it's like you have to add something every time, every year, or you have to lose something. I don't know. I just see how it works. If I feel it doesn't work, then I start reading again. And then I see other things that might be helpful to do the work.
You know, it's very inspiring, in my opinion, what you are saying right now, because it's really a research. I mean,
Yes.
it's not just that you are picking practice, a ritual, something that is already done, and applying to what you are doing, to your practice in a very passive way.
No.
If this makes sense, you are really creating your own practice guided by Hekate, and you know, you are also showing us how difficult it is.
Yes.
Because I'm under the impression that sometimes people are looking for very quick and fast,
Don't do this.
solution.
Yeah.
And for some kind of work that is simply impossible. It took, time and effort and study, starting with the ancient sources, and not just because the ancient knows best even today, but because they had a different approach, in my opinion. And starting with that, we can always change it, but we have at least a base to work
Yes.
on.
Yes.
And that is very interesting to me to see how you manage to create your own practice, trusting, yourself, Hekate, but also working hard. So that is very inspiring, in my
Thank you.
opinion.
It all starts with Hekate. When she called me, when I started working with her, starting to make the connection with her, that was the beginning. And the rest unfolded itself. But it is hard work. It still is hard work because it's not really demanding. It doesn't demand anything from myself except the input and being there and knowing what I do and stand firm. But it's knowing you do something that not really very much people do, but would be nice if more people were doing it. If we have more, call them torches, that stick their torch up every dark moon from, hey, here we are. I mean, the world's on fire. There are a lot of Restless Dead. I am a very busy woman.
I guess. No doubt about that, especially because unfortunately the situation is not really improving.
Yes.
It seems actually getting worse day by day. So, talking about your sanctuary, before, maybe we can, I think it's very interesting. If you're up to, we can discuss about that also in another interview. If people want to add some maybe, questions on this interview, and if they want to ask you something, we can definitely do that. But I have actually two questions for you before, saying that. First of all, about your sanctuary. Is that open and working? Are you accepting if there are other people interested in this path and learning from you? Are you ready to do that yet or not yet?
I am ready to
Something...
do that. the unfortunate and lucky thing was that Sarita was my mentor.
Sarita
Sarita was my mentor.
is listening. No,
I know.
I don't know.
I love you. I love you to pieces. But Chaos is your middle name and you know it. But no, I had a lot from the conversations with Sarita. And but she's a very busy woman, so it took longer. And when everything was done, my son bought a house. So when I was ready to put up my sanctuary of Hekate Drakaina, I have to stop because I was remodeling for 4 months. So I am now starting to give it a new impulse. Like I want to dig out as much of the epithet Drakaina as I can. I just posted it in Dutch and in English in my sanctuary. I want to do a little bit edited post in the general Covenant of Hekate group, because people are interested, but it is an epithet that is not really popular. Ectectonia, if you call that, you have like bees in coming in, but Drakaina it's more of a title. It's the anguiform shape. So Drakaina is not. It is an epithet of Hekate, but it is also a title, and it's a form. It's a snake
Form, yeah, more or less.
Snakish form. It's instead of legs you have snakes, and the upper body could be Medusa is a kind of a Drakaina. So it is not for me the connection Drakaina, dragons, snake is very natural. I have a shitload of books of dragons, and I am now rereading Drakon of Daniel Ogden, also a printed book, because a new book is about $300 to $400, and I don't write. I write in all my books, but not in books from $300 to $400.
Yeah,
no, I don't. And
I think we can all agree with you. Definitely.
No one can read a book without writing in it, because there are always words that you don't understand, or there are always things. Wait,
little notes on the side.
Yeah, the little notes on the side, and yes, the book you can read like this, and then there's always written everything. But that's what I want to do. I want to reach out, and if people want to learn more about Drakaina, please admit to my sanctuary, and we can discuss, we can Q&A, we can do everything. I'm open for everything. The Drakaina form that is limited, I know, but there are more. I mean, Daniel Ogden had written 2 books this thick about dragons. So there is more that we can explore, not just...
There is a huge topic, especially if you link the snake, you can, go down the rabbit hole forever.
Oh my God.
And get lost in there completely.
I got lost writing my my essay for Torchbearer. I definitely got lost, because I remember one time I was sitting at this desk, and I have like 6 books open, and I was picking out of all of them, and they all have very interesting things. And at the end, I just could not choose, because Ogden has a complete chapter that I completely picked. I did copy and paste. That's the word. That I did copy and paste, because I could not leave something out of it. It was perfectly written, because why should I then edit it? I don't. But some other things, when you dive in it, then you go to the Eringes, then you go to other dragon forms and snake forms, and it's a big rabbit hole. it's
it's
not
a
even
lot
this
of work.
lifetime span. I need another life to dig in it. So
You can talk to Hekate about that.
always.
Last question. It is actually a bit more a curiosity for me about the Restless Dead. Let's say that it's not me, but let's say you are kind of scared and you can feel their presence. What would you recommend people to do? What?
Close,
Close. Just
close,
close the gate.
close. You
Close the
can't,
gate.
you
Learn
can't
to
not
close the
be
gate.
scared. Close the gate. Say, close yourself, close the gate, close the triangle, close the circle, whatever. Just don't. Because if you're scared, you're more open than you know. I even got chills now. Never
Oh,
be scared. No, um, always be on top of your self-confidence.
I
Because
see.
if you're
Working with
not,
authority, like
the
your.
authority. If you are scared, you can work with Restless Dead, with those little stillborn babies, and with the little bunnies, and with the cows, and with the horses, and with everything that's been killed or slaughtered or whatever. You can work with that, but not with Restless Dead that are suicidal, and some do suicide because they want the rest. They're not dangerous. I don't know if they really are. Yeah, I don't know if they really are dangerous, but they are not something you want in your house, and
I
something you
see.
definitely do not want in your head. So if you start feeling insecure, just say, I am done. I am closing this, and then close in whatever form you are sitting.
Just
Never do this scared.
Great. Just a last question for you. How important was in your practice, your Wiccan learning and your practice with the circle and with this ability actually to close completely the gate?
I don't know. I have been in Wicca for almost 20 years in Greencraft and in Alexandrian covens. I don't know. I think eclectic witches who can draw a circle can also do this work. It's not a Wiccan. It has nothing to do with Wiccan.
Yeah, so
With Wicca, because I went to my high priestesses and my priests, and they were not, they have no clue where I'm talking about. This is purely a Hekate thing. And
I see.
Hekate and Wicca were long twined. That doesn't work either, because all have it all needs the full attention, and it all needs the full respect.
I see. So, thank you so much for
You're
taking the
welcome.
time to answer to all my question and to actually talk about your practice with us. I think it was extremely interesting.
You.
So, this interview will be posted in the blog of the Covenant of Hecate, and
Mhm.
then we'll see. Maybe we can organize a sequel in another interview, maybe asking you some more. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're
And
welcome. Glad to be here, and thanks a lot to have me.
thank you.